Hello and welcome to the GTLA Lakers 818 podcast. It's Tuesday, July 3rd, 2018.
What's up, y'all?
Lot of new Laker fans around. Lot of new Laker fans coming around.
Let's go, Lakers. Let's go.
We are recording in Chatsworth, California, city where LeBron's son will be going to high school, Sierra Canyon High School, where we just 2 years ago were often going to watch games there because Marvin Bagley, this year's number 2 overall pick to Sacramento, was going to high school there. And so this means that none other than the king himself, LeBron James, has taken his talents to LA.
The Eagle has landed.
Wow, huge news. This is going to be the focus of our podcast. Last podcast was the Lakers pre-agency podcast. Today, we are doing the Lakers free agency podcast because there's been a lot of wild things that have happened since the last
map,
podcast.
Baby. LA's on the map now.
All of a sudden, we have LeBron James, we got Rajon Rondo, we got JaVale McGee, we got Lance Stevenson, Boogie's on the Warriors, Julius Randle's on the Pelicans, and it's just a different day.
We still got Ingram, we still got Kuzma, we still got Lonzo.
Yeah.
Still got Josh Hart.
Yeah, so if anyone's new here listening, because we got a lot of new followers and fans on the page. If you're not following, follow us on Instagram at GTLA Lakers 818. And if you are new from the page and this is your first time listening to the podcast, welcome. It's a new era. I know a lot of you are either new Laker fans or, coming out the woodworks now that LeBron's here and it's exciting again. Either way, you're welcome.
Welcome.
We basically do a once a week podcast. In the summer, we do it a little less, just because there's not too much wild going on. But right now, June, July, free agency, the NBA draft, it's just crazy. So we gotta pod this. Basically today, what we're gonna do is just tell the story of free agency. I mean, what has happened up till now? What's happened since the last podcast? And it starts with something we're not going to talk about too much, but it starts with the NBA draft. Since the last podcast, the NBA draft happened. And, honestly, it's not, we'll talk about it at the end. It's not that exciting. I don't even know who the players we drafted. It just wasn't that exciting. No lottery picks, no LiAngelo Ball. As stated plenty of times on this podcast before, that would not happen. So let's just jump right into what's happened since the last podcast. The first thing, so now I'm taking you still before July 1st, before, Paul George went to OKC, before LeBron came. The first kind of thing that happened is that we gave Julius Randle the qualifying offer, which meant that we basically we asked Randle to come join us for about $5.5 million for one more season. And then after that year, he could become an unrestricted free agent. What I didn't know is that after you give him that qualifying offer, it seemed like he couldn't just accept it. I wasn't sure if he could accept that or if it still meant you have to wait to see if any teams give him an offer. But that was the first kind of thing that happened. And then after that, a lot of reports started coming out about the Lakers. Like 2 days before July 1st, the free agency period, news came out that in order for the Lakers to land LeBron, we got to get Kawhi. It came out that LeBron texted Durant to come to the Lakers. It came out that Paul George was doing a 3-part series on ESPN about his decision. It came out that Paul George opted out of his contract. It came out that LeBron didn't opt into his contract with Cleveland. And then the last final news story that happened before all the signings was that the Lakers were racing to get Kawhi Leonard and were offering, as part of the deal, Brandon Ingram and a first-round pick.
I think Josh Hart too.
Yeah, so what was your feelings like before, during this time when all that news came out before anyone signed?
I was just before anyone signed. Well, the first thing I heard was, from what I recall, was Paul George. I really thought in his 3-part series, after watching the 2 parts, I really thought he was going to sign with the Lakers. I mean, no one makes a big, huge 3-part series to stay with the team that they're with. You know what I mean? And I mean, since last year, I think everyone thought that Paul George was coming to the Lakers, and I was just really shocked and amazed that he was going to stick with the Thunder. And once that happened, I was like, oh my God, this is not really happening, because I felt like the only way LeBron is going to come here is he's got to come with someone like a Paul George. And like what would really solidify him coming over here is if Lakers could make the move for Kawhi Leonard, which was not happening, because from the reports were that the Spurs were being really stubborn, and they wanted, and they still want a lot for Kawhi. And I was just like, okay, chances are slim that LeBron's going to come here. I just didn't think it was going to happen. And then I was just shocked that on the first, or was it the second? I can't remember. It was on Sunday. Like all of a sudden, I get this notification from ESPN, like LeBron James agrees to a 4-year, $154 million contract with the Lakers, and I was literally jumping up and down. I called you right away. I was just like, yeah, dude, this is happening. It really happened. Like LeBron is here without Paul George coming, without Kawhi Leonard even being here yet, and he's on the boat. Like, and I was like, Ingram and Kuzma. Like, I was just thinking LeBron is gonna be playing with Ingram and Kuzma. Little did I know, because Paul George is not going to be here, and Kawhi, we haven't made the trade for Kawhi yet. I'm just thinking of our current team right now. I'm just on a cloud 9 right now. I really am.
Yeah, no, it was a lot of emotions, like from that Thursday to Sunday. Yeah, let's go ahead and talk about Paul George and everything. So I like you, pretty much the entire time thought that Paul George was going to come to the Lakers. Yeah, when it came out that he was doing a 3-part series, I was like, there's no way. I mean, there's no way someone would do... First of all, let me say this. I didn't understand how ESPN even gave him a 3-part series, because the only player that I've ever seen have even any type of series on their decision is LeBron. Like, I never saw Durant do it. I didn't see Westbrook. I didn't see Harden. I didn't see Anthony Davis. Like, no one's ever gotten some series on ESPN for their decision. I was like... I swear to myself, I was like, there's no way he's going to do this and not come to Lakers. Like, this is the Hollywood thing to do. Like, there's no way. And then that was until actually that Saturday, June 30th, when I was, searching online, and I saw 2 things that made me go like, oh my God, he's going to sign with OKC. The first was, I guess it was like, I don't know if it was his barber or his taxi driver or something, posted something. Being like, oh, I just dropped Paul George off, in OKC or something. Beware for good news, OKC. And I was like, oh, wow. But then what really made me realize he wasn't coming to Lakers was then a report that came out just a couple hours later on Saturday that Russell Westbrook was throwing a party for Paul George that night. And I was like, oh my God, he's going to OKC, because I was like, there's no way. Like, Russell Westbrook, Paul George wouldn't let a party happen the moment free agency starts while he was in OKC, unless he was going to sign. Like, that wasn't going to happen. So I was like, wow, this guy really did that. I mean, what is ESPN thinking, though? I don't understand who cares about Oklahoma? I mean, go ahead, go back, but like, no one cares. Like, I think the 3rd episode just dropped today, and like, it's not just that he didn't come to us or I'm bitter or anything. It's just like, dude, no one, like, you're not even a top 10 player, A. B, Oklahoma is such a small market and franchise. I don't even want to ever go to Oklahoma. I hope I never go there.
I think ESPN just did it because they knew that they would have viewers, Los Angeles population, viewing this 3-part series. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that's going to, kick up their ratings. But yeah, no, it's shocking that he's sticking with OKC. It really is.
Yeah. So, and then he signed a 4-year, $137 million contract. We didn't even get a meeting with Paul George, which, look, I don't know. There's something happened somewhere along the lines. My belief is that Paul George is planning to come to the Lakers all this time. But then the moment, like a month or whatever it was ago, that Kawhi came out and publicly said he wanted to come to the Lakers, that Paul George started feeling a type of way. It became clear that the Lakers were pursuing Kawhi and LeBron first and foremost, and he was like kind of like the third wheel. Probably got in his feelings about it, and was probably like, yeah, whatever. I guess I'm not going to do this. That's my little conspiracy thought about it. I don't know if that's true or not, but that's just kind of what I think. Small funny tidbit, about the party that I read. They brought Nas to the party, and Nas like performed, and apparently someone reported that there wasn't a single person in the crowd that knew who Nas was or like had any clue what songs he was. And I was like, yeah, no ish. This is Oklahoma. Like, these fools don't know who Nas is. Are you kidding me? Like, seriously, like, you might as well have brought out Bon Jovi or I don't know, Aerosmith or something. Like, that would have been better for Oklahoma. I know. Sorry OKC Nas, fans, like, if there aren't any listening to this, but it was probably in that moment too. Paul George was probably like, damn, I made a mistake. Like, staying here. So yeah, and we didn't get any meeting. A lot of Laker fans, like I was reading comments, felt the type of way about that, because I mean it almost seemed like Paul George was he had made it clear. He made it clear that he wanted to be a Laker, and like we didn't even get a meeting. It was kind of like a slap in the face. I thought he was the guaranteed piece out of LeBron, Kawhi, and him. I thought he was like the number one. Okay, he's going to be coming for sure, and then the other two guys would follow suit. But apparently that wasn't the case. Yeah, no, I agree. I thought I completely agree actually. What else about Paul George? So then he came out today, I guess as part of his whatever. I saw some quote today. He came out and was like, "Oh, I wanted to be a Laker last year, but they didn't trade for me." Dude, really? I don't know about that. Yeah. No, he came out and said, like, it was part of the third episode. I didn't see that episode, but I saw a post on Instagram, like the quote. He was like, "Oh, I wanted to be a Laker a year ago, but they didn't grab me or something. They didn't trade for me." I'm like, look, in response to that, I have to say, first of all, just because we didn't trade for you doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean you have to start feeling a type of way. Like, I mean, if you want to sign. If you don't, it's fine. But don't cry. Don't talk about what happened a year ago. He has to understand it's a business. Like, you know what I mean? You can't get your feelings and your emotions all mixed in it. Like, and second thing is, like, he's saying, "Oh, they didn't trade for me." But do you realize, Mr. George, that you get paid max dollars? However, you're not a superstar. So it'd be dumb for the Lakers to trade for you, because we'd be giving off good assets that we would need when you came. Like, in order to trade for you, we'd have to trade some of our young guys, and then when you came, our team would just not be that good. Like, you're not that good. You're not good enough for us to release. We if anything, we were doing you a favor by not trading for you. We were gonna keep all our young core intact for you to come the year later. So whatever. It's all, he's just BSing. He's just saying it to save face. You're in Oklahoma. Guess what, bro? You were on a team with MVP Russell Westbrook last year and got beat in the first round by a rookie. And not only a rookie, but at some point in that series, Ricky Rubio got hurt. Ricky Rubio was hurt. So, like, it was like you lost to a depleted Jazz team. They haven't been to the playoff. Well, actually, they went to the playoffs last year, but that was just like a new team. A Donovan Mitchell. They didn't have Gordon Hayward. It was like a new set of guys. And then not just that, like, I mean, it's kind of like after that last game where I don't know what Paul George's numbers were, but I think he had like 7 turnovers and he went like 1 for 14 or something like that. The guy could not hit water if he fell out of a boat. I'm kind of glad that, like, dude, you're not here, because if you can't perform in the clutch, like, maybe you don't deserve to be a Laker. Stay in your lane. We're about winning. This is a winning tradition over here. We're not about choking. Like, so, and let me tell you this. When OKC comes to Los Angeles, I guarantee you're not going to hear, I don't know, maybe Dwight Howard get booed more, but Paul George is going to get booed. He's going to get booed. He's going to get booed hard. Oh, yeah. For sure. No, I think probably definitely for the next few years, he's going to get booed every time. And you know what's annoying about what I didn't like? In one of those first 2 episodes, when he was sitting with Dwayne Wade, he said something like, "Oh, like, I want to be a Laker, but I could see myself doing that at some point later on my career, like being in Los Angeles. Bro, listen to me. Don't ever try to come back here. Like, it's done. Like,
it's not gonna happen.
It's not gonna happen. Just like how Dwight Howard, we'll talk about later, was trying to come out to the Lakers. It's not gonna happen. Like,
hell no.
You burned a bridge not that you didn't come, but the fact you didn't give us a meeting, you didn't even meet with Magic and whatever. Anyway, so whatever. Paul George, good luck. Have fun with Russell Westbrook and losing in the first round, and have fun with Carmelo Anthony and
who?
Yeah. I do kind of want to. There's something I want to talk about here. A cautionary tale though, regarding this Paul George and Kawhi Leonard thing. And I feel like this is something a lot of Laker fans aren't thinking about, but this applies to the current situation with Kawhi. Think about Laker fans, for everyone who's completely on board with do not trade for Kawhi right now. Think about how just a year ago you said the exact same thing about Paul George and how we did not get him right now. Like how a year later he did not come. Cautionary tale. Everyone's like, oh, Kawhi's gonna come next year. He's gonna come next year. You just never know what can happen, and that's why people argue for you got to get the guy now. Now in Paul George's case, he's not even a top 10 player, so I'm not crying. I'm not gonna cry over about it. But Kawhi Leonard is a top 5 player in the NBA, and arguably, it's a situation where, we're going to be kicking ourselves in the behind next year if this happens to us. This Paul George thing, if it happens to Kawhi. That's all I'm going to say. Just a cautionary tale. I'm not saying trade for Kawhi now. I'm not even saying that. But it's just something to think about.
Something to watch for sure.
Yeah, because you just never know what can happen in a year. Yeah. Okay, let's move on. So this was big news actually. The last bit of big news before free agency started was that Mr. Lonzo Ball tore his meniscus. This happened the Friday.
That's terrible.
This report came out Friday, and free agency started, Saturday night. It was very interesting timing. It came out of nowhere. I still haven't seen a single report about where he got injured, how he got injured, which is really weird. You usually, especially for a high-profile person like Lonzo Ball.
You know what's funny is that in some of the posts, some of his own Instagram posts on his page and on his brother's page, I mean, he looks pretty fine. He seems like he's walking around normal jeans, he doesn't feel like there's any pain. It doesn't look like there's any pain. I mean, it doesn't look like he's getting any type of special treatment or anything like that. It just, I don't know personally on, what happens when you tear your meniscus, what kind of treatment you do need, but it feels like it looks like he's fine, but I mean, who am I to judge? Maybe I'm just making a crazy assumption. But I think you were telling me maybe it was just a monkey wrench thrown in there by his own people. I think you were telling me just so it's harder for him to be moved. It's harder for him to be traded.
Yeah, well, if you listen to the last podcast, you heard me on my crazy conspiracy theory that LeBron would not be on the team with Lonzo. Well, for now, I am incorrect. However, I do still believe that it's very possible Lonzo will get traded before the season starts, but we'll talk about that later. But there was a lot of funny memes and just people just be like, oh, he's just saying that so he doesn't get traded, blah blah blah. I mean, what I'm curious about, which I didn't hear, is was there an MRI? Who did the Lakers do an MRI? There was just no official confirmation of anything about how he got injured and when he got an MRI. Whenever people get hurt, I always see reports about this stuff.
Right, no, there's always a background story. It was during practice or full contact, something happened. So it was just okay, now he tore his meniscus.
Yeah.
Now and he's out only 4 to 6 weeks.
Yeah.
Which he can be back, before training camp starts or whatever it is. But it just sounds kind of weird.
Yeah. So he is supposed to be
fishy.
He is supposed to be back for training camp, and the meniscus is not a crazy serious injury. It's not the ACL or anything. Actually, I'm pretty sure if you remember, how many years ago is that now? Damn, maybe 5-6 years ago when Ron Artest tore something in his knee and then he came back 10 days later. I'm pretty sure that was a meniscus. So it's not. Yeah. So it's not. So it has potential for. Ron Artest has I
think it happened
crazy
with
mental
Bynum
strength
too, right? Was that with Andrew Bynum? Something happened.
I don't remember Andrew Bynum. That's too far back now.
Yeah.
But what I thought was weird was it something where like the Lakers want to leak that? Would BBB and LeVar wanted to have leaked that? But even if LeVar leaked that, wouldn't the Lakers have to confirm that? But also, like, it seemed like, you know, Lonzo, his trade value is not even that high. It doesn't seem like, I mean, as far as with the Spurs, they don't even want Lonzo. So like, why would you have to pretend anything about him? I don't know. I'm sure he's hurt. I'm sure he's got to be hurt. But it was just all very interesting. That meniscus. And you know what? Look, just real quick, that's 3 knee injuries in 1 year. That's not a good sign.
That's probably the reason why Lakers got Rondo.
And what's also is not a good sign is that it was only about 2 or 3 weeks before he tore this meniscus that he was cleared for basketball activities. And so now he has no time to play. He only had like a 3-week window this summer to get better at basketball is what I'm saying. Like, to practice that shot. And so and I know he's supposed to have a baby soon if he didn't. By the way, congratulations. We didn't talk about that. You just had a baby.
Thank you.
Yes. Maybe we'll talk about that at the end. You can give some fatherly advice to me. And so I'm wondering now, like, damn, because like, you know, even Magic said this is the most important summer of your life. I feel like this is just a huge summer for him. I gotta see improvement. And now I don't know where the time is for him to improve. I don't, you know, but, you know, I guess we'll see what happens. All right, let's move on from that. So now let's move on to the next part of the story. LeBron James touchdown in an airplane in Van Nuys.
The 818.
Early Saturday, June 30th. Fun fact, I was born in Van Nuys, and that is in the Valley, the 818. If you didn't figure it out, our podcast is called GTLA Lakers 818 because we are from the 818.
The Valley.
So I was super happy. I was like so prideful. I was like, wow, the name LeBron and Van Nuys are like together right now. Like, this is my birth city. Like, I was born there and LeBron is touching down there right now. So that was kind of cool. And then, like you said, before we actually signed LeBron, it did get a little scary that Sunday during the day. Dude, Sunday was a weird day for me. I was like, because just the night before...
He had a meeting with Philly, right? Well, LeBron's reps had a meeting with Philly's reps. And
I remember, I texted you. I was like, damn, what's happening? Because we just missed Paul George last night. And I was like, oh my God, I thought this was a 2-horse race, just Lakers and Cleveland. All of a sudden, out of nowhere, Philly got a meeting. I was like, oh my God. And then what really scared me was that there were reports that the Sixers were really interested in trading for Kawhi. And I was like, oh my God, if they get Kawhi, they're going to get LeBron. And then that team is going to be just insane. Like, and so I was praying. I was like, oh my God, please no. Like, I didn't think they were going to get Kawhi because they don't have any assets to trade. Like, unless they're going to trade Ben Simmons or Joel Embiid. Even, dude, the Sixers even said they're not going to trade Markelle Fultz for him. I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, dude, Markelle Fultz dude, come on, man. But luckily...
I was going to say, like, I can't remember when, but I think it's Brian Windhorst saying that LeBron had actually already made his decision. Like, he had already made up his mind on what he was going to do, where he was going to go, who he was going to sign with, even before that meeting with Philadelphia. So I don't know, that kind of threw me off guard too.
Yeah, there were so many varying reports throughout this free agency. Like, yeah, I remember I posted back-to-back things on Instagram. One was that, you know, basically LeBron was considering Philly or something. And the second one was that pretty much all the NBA executives believe LeBron already chose LA and he's just putting on a show. I was like, I didn't know what to believe, but, you know, I had my faith still. Because again, if you're new to this podcast, let me just say that I just want to reiterate, we've been talking about LeBron coming to the Lakers since the beginning of last season. We talked about Kawhi coming to Lakers like in March, before it was even trending topics. And so yeah, no, this is not new for us, this whole LeBron coming. We've been hoping this would happen for well over a year now.
Well, the king is here now, finally.
Yes, so we do end it. We landed LeBron, 4-year contract, $154 million. Let me just first start with the 4 years. That is huge. That is huge for us because now we don't have to play scaredy cat free, general manager role like the Cavs did. Like the Cavs were always in bad. They always had they could never build naturally because LeBron was just signing like these 1-year deals or 2-year deals where it was like, okay, he might only be here for a year, so we got to go all in this season, and like would forfeit future draft picks just to go all in now. And then now the Cavs are just screwed. But the fact that LeBron signed for 4 years is amazing for us because that means that, you know, he wants to be here for a long time. It means that we can plan for something. We don't have to like rush into it. And no, it's just 4 years. I mean, that's just a long time. I mean, huge pull by Magic.
I don't think he's ever done that. He's signed a 4-year deal. Maybe with Miami, I can't even remember, but
yeah, I don't remember.
Yeah, it's always been 2 years, like 1 or 2 year deals with Cleveland. So now, I mean, it looks like he's ready to retire in LA. Who knows how many more years he has left, but I think this is his last stop, in my opinion.
Well, I have something for you on that I'm kind of curious about, because so he did sign a 4-year contract. However, the year that his son would be eligible to make it to the NBA would be in the 5th year. So he kind of left something open for, I don't know. I mean, either speculating, because one of my friends told me he thinks LeBron might go back to Cleveland for a victory lap just at the end to play with his son. The other thing I was thinking was maybe he did that because since he doesn't know where his son might be drafted, you know, I don't know if the Lakers, they can't necessarily guarantee they'll get him. Maybe LeBron wants to be free to go join the team that drafts his son. So yeah, no, it's kind of interesting that
sense.
You know, like, because again, it's the 5th. You know, I'm praying, I'm hoping, I'm sure he wants that. Dude, he wants his son to be on the Lakers because that story will blow like crazy if he's on the Lakers. If he plays with his son, you know. But so yeah, no, I'm not gonna put it past him, honestly, to that potentially he might end up on another team and end his career somewhere. Maybe he'll do one final season in Cleveland or something. It wouldn't be that crazy, like, but I don't know. I hope it's the Lakers, like, for sure. But
yeah, I don't know. I don't think he would end up going back to Cleveland. I don't know. I just don't see it happening after he's gone there twice. But I mean, my whole take on this LeBron thing is I think he knows, like, coming in, I'm sure LeBron knew, like, him being like the sole veteran coming to this team, that I don't think maybe he knew in the back of his mind he wasn't expecting a championship in the first year, because he knew that Lakers are in the middle of a rebuilding process. I mean, they have a bunch of, like, you know, rookie and sophomore guys as like their best players. So I think he knew that, okay, there's going to be some building, some team building going on over here, some maturity with the existing team before they actually have a real chance of winning and contending. I just really think, like, I think Dwayne Wade said it, you know, before, like, it's not for him. He's not trying to chase rings anymore now. I think he's just trying to, you know, just set himself up, and it's really just for his family. I think it's what's best for his family and for his kids. You know, but obviously he wants to win at the end of the day, you know, but I think it's going to come in due time. So,
well, the fact that he came here, signed without anybody else, it proves your point, what you just said exactly. But let me ask you, I mean, I said this on the last podcast, the idea of LeBron coming to the Lakers and kind of like riding off into the sunset and handling his business, to me, I think is BS. Like, I can't see how he can come here and not win a championship. Like, I feel like that would be...
I'm sure he just plays to win. Like, he definitely wants a championship. No doubt about that. I just don't think, me personally, I don't think it's going to happen this first year. I really don't think so. I would love for it to happen, but I think that's why he signed a 4-year deal, because he knows, like, there's some young guys. He knows there's some core to develop, and I think that's going to happen, like, a little bit later.
Yeah, well, we'll talk about the current roster a little later, but let's just talk about the impact of this. LeBron James, man, is a Laker. Like, do you think about 3 years ago, 4 years ago, 5 years, would anyone have ever thought or thought that this would happen?
The greatest basketball player in the world right now. Maybe one of the most iconic, like, athletes in sports.
He's the number one athlete in sport. I'm trying to think, like, yeah, he's the number one athlete right now. I mean,
seriously, like, and now he's on, like, the Los Angeles Lakers, like, our team. Like, I never would have dreamt that LeBron was going to be on the Lakers. Never. Really never would have thought until, okay, the rumors were out, like, last year, LeBron to the Lakers. But even then, I was like, okay, maybe we're just maybe we're just taking it too far. Maybe I didn't even want to get excited over it because I don't like getting excited over things, and then it doesn't happen. And then, I'm pretty emotional as a Laker fan, and my happiness just crashes away because we thought we were gonna get LeBron and we didn't. But no, it's just really it's actually happening. Like, it almost hasn't settled in yet. I'm really trying to figure out, like, day and night. I'm just thinking about, like, what the dynamics of this team is going to look like, how this team is going to play. Like, I mean, is he going to orchestrate it like how he did in Cleveland? Like, or is he trying to play, like, more off ball? Like, I don't know. Like, now that Lakers have Rondo and maybe even keeping Lonzo, like, does he just want to be more of, like, a wing guy, like, and just handle the ball in the fourth quarter, like, during crunch time? Like,
not quite sure how to answer that.
I think the Lakers' current squad is better than Cleveland's squad they had last year, just with Ingram and Kuzma alone.
Oh, yeah.
I just feel like that's going to help the team and help him a lot. It's just, I think the synergy with this team is just going to be, like, amazing. I really think it's going to be, I think throwing LeBron in there is just going to take this team definitely to a whole nother level.
Oh, yeah. I mean, this is the best basketball player in the world today. I mean, a man who's gone to how many straight finals? 8 straight finals?
8.
I mean,
count them.
And what he did last year in the playoffs was absolutely incredible. One of the greatest, playoff performances all the way through I've ever seen in my life and witnessed.
Year 15.
Yeah.
Year 15.
Yeah. And this is a guy who is literally a system into himself. I mean, this guy is a coach, GM, floor general, scorer, rebounder, everything all in, like, everything on and off the court all at once. He is that. And he's the most seamless person on the court. He can do anything, play any position, play with anyone, make anyone look great. Now, I also want to talk about not just his impact on the court, but off the court, and for us Angelinos and what this means for our city. I mean, LA has been asleep for a minute because we damn sure don't care about the Clippers.
We're the sleeping giant. Literally, we've been a sleeping giant since, like, even before Kobe left.
Yeah, no, since... the last time there was a ton of Laker excitement. I mean, last year with Lonzo there was at the beginning, but before that it was...
I mean, what was the last time we were winning?
Last time we were winning was when we won the championship with, when we beat the Celtics in 2010.
And next year we got eliminated in, like, what, second round or something like that?
Yeah. And then next time there was actually some excitement was the summer when we signed Nash and Dwight, but the whole season was just a train wreck.
That was just a botch, yeah.
And then since Kobe tore his Achilles, there hasn't been anything good that's happened. No playoffs.
I mean, for us, for, like, Lakers, like, us fans, like, dude, that's a long time for us not to be winning because we're just so used to it. Like, we're just spoiled. We're so spoiled. We're just so used to winning, and now all of a sudden, we're not talking about 8 seed playoffs. We're talking about, like, almost top of the Western Conference playoffs. Like, that, I mean, which is huge for our team to do. I'm just so excited. I really am. I feel like jumping up and down right now.
Yeah, I mean, and also just even more to the impact. I mean, what this is going to do just for the city, the energy, the people, the vibe. If you live out in LA, you know this. Like, because if you were around for the Kobe Shaq years, if you were around for when we went back to back with Kobe and Powell, like, the city just gets revitalized. Like, I miss when like there are Laker flags hanging on all the cars, and I miss when all the bandwagoners are on the bandwagon. And
what's crazy is that I work in Van Nuys, right? So ice cream shop is in Van Nuys, and literally I could swear to God to you, I've had more people talk to me now about the Lakers, and I've had more than a few people come in to get ice cream wearing Laker gear, Laker shorts, Laker hat, random Laker stuff. It's crazy, and I'm just talking about in, like, 2 days.
Yeah, well, dude, like I said, on the Instagram page, it's crazy. I was telling you, like, I've gotten so many new followers in the last 2 or 3 days, like, and so many people are commenting. All these people that never were on my page before, like,
the bandwagoners waking up.
Yeah, but it's fun though. It's exciting. Just the energy is lively. Like, now when we go out, like, people are gonna be in good moods. Like, it's just gonna raise the whole spirit and vibe of our city again. And, like, that's what I miss. Like, when the Lakers are good at basketball, I always say this: life is good. Like, when the Lakers are good, life is good.
Dude, real talk though, I woke up the next day and I was just like, wait, we have LeBron James. And I was just, dude, literally, I woke up with a smile on my face. Kid you not. Swear to God, I know how cheesy that sounds, but I was just like, oh my God, like, my team is actually, we're up there now. You know, it feels great. It really does feel great.
Yeah, I was having a pretty bad Sunday, and I was just like, I mean, it was a mix of just worrying about whether LeBron was coming or not, but then this also was just like, I was starting a new position at work the next day, and I was just like not in a good mood. And then, yeah, all of a sudden I looked at my phone. I had missed call from you and like from some other people. I was like, damn, I just knew right there something went down, like something happened. And when I saw that, I was just going crazy. I swear, I just felt my spirit I just had a new spirit or something. Something just overcame me, like, and it was just so exciting. I was going crazy in my apartment, and yeah, it was just awesome, absolutely awesome. So thank you, LeBron. Like, so excited to have you.
The king is here.
Let's get rings. Let's get multiple. I need more than one. Like, I mean, I need at least one, but I want more than one. So let's get it. Let's stick it to these goddamn Warriors. And
dude, I hate these Warriors, bro. I'll turn into a Warrior hater. Seriously.
Now, one little tidbit on LeBron before we move on. So the story was that the way we landed LeBron at the very end was a combination of both Kobe and Magic. Apparently, LeBron called Kobe while Magic was coming over. Like, so before LeBron even met with Magic, he talked to Kobe, got his blessings.
Kobe.
Thank you, Kobe. Dude, Kobe's got her back. This was looking out. He knows what's up. You need to come out of retirement. Hey, pull an MJ. You got to pull an MJ. Come out of retirement, dude. Just let's do it, man. Like, we need a closer.
Just we need come a closer, man. Play like 10 minutes a game. Hit a couple jumpers. You ain't got to run.
Yeah, Lonzo and LeBron will just hit you, dog. Just chill out. All right. Yeah, and then I guess Magic came over right at 9:01 because free agency started at 12:01 Eastern. So at 9:01 Pacific Standard Time, which I just think is hilarious. Like, it's like, hey, well, don't let me into your house yet. Like, well, 2 more minutes.
Hey, the NBA already fined Magic, so I think he's trying to play it safe.
And so, yeah, apparently they sat and had dinner or something for like a couple hours. And, you know, I bet you if they met for 2 hours, I bet you maybe 10 minutes of it was about like the Lakers and signing. Like, I bet you it was so much just shooting the ish and just catching up and like, you know, dude, they've been talking. I mean, so, you know, come on, it's Magic Johnson we're talking about. I mean, yeah, okay. So, yeah, we'll talk about LeBron some more for this podcast, but let's move on. All of a sudden, right after we signed LeBron, all these other signings happened for us. It was very random and weird. We signed Kentavious Caldwell-Pope for 1 year, $12 million contract.
I like KCP.
Now, I do like KCP too. I want to do a little thing on KCP. I feel like KCP was actually oddly... he probably didn't even know how much he was like the liaison between Magic and LeBron this whole year. I mean, the fact that we even got him last year on the 1 year contract for $18 million, and I talked about this on a podcast back then, was because KCP is with Clutch Sports, LeBron's agency. So like having KCP kind of allows you, quote unquote, to have constant communication with KCP's agent, who just so happens to be LeBron's agent, you know, Rich Paul and them. So like KCP, I mean, I don't know. I've heard him talk in interviews and love the guy, but it doesn't seem like, you know, I don't know if he even knew what was happening. He was just happy he got a $20 million contract with the Lakers.
It's not the brightest cat.
But yeah, no, and it was kind of like how having Randall allowed us to stay in contact with Paul George's agent. They both are represented by CAA. And so, no, Magic is so smart like that. I mean, the things he's done, and I'm going to just reiterate everything on the I talked about this on the last podcast, but Magic set everything up for this brilliantly. Trading D'Angelo, getting rid of the Mozgov contract. Trading Clarkson and Nance for Isaiah Thomas's expiring contract. What else went down? Well, those two were just probably the big things, but just clearing the cap space. And so, yeah, no, this was a plan that has been going on for a long time. So, yeah, KCP. But so what's interesting is last year we paid him a 1-year contract for $18 million. Now we just signed him for a 1-year, $12 million. So
that's a win right there.
I mean, yeah, he went down $6 million, but I'm sure there was something on the back end. Like, there's some hush thing going on, like with this. I'm sure LeBron was like, yo, we got to keep this guy. And, and dude, KCP, what I like about KCP here is that he gives us everything Paul George would have. I mean, assuming we had Kawhi, like if Paul George was our third guy, then KCP pretty much gives us
what we need.
80% of what Paul George would have given us as a third guy, but for way cheaper value. I mean, KCP, this fool was hitting so many threes.
Streaky 3-point shooter.
This fool is a good defender.
Great defender.
Plays hard. Like, he just seems like a steady rock guy.
Every game he's there, he's scrappy. Like, you never see him fade. You never see him, or if he does have a bad shooting game, he comes back the next game, and he doesn't slump for a really long time. And dude, he plays hard every game. Like, what more can you ask for? Just someone who gives an effort, every game, day in, day out.
Yeah. So, KCP, I'm glad to have you back, dude. Definitely. And then we signed Lance Stevenson, 1 year, $4.5 million contract. What do you think about that?
In all honesty, like, I personally did not like it. That's just me. He just seems kind of like a really clownish type of player. Like, he's, some games, dude, this guy's like, I've never seen anyone flop more than he does. Like, literally, you touch him and this guy will just start literally flip-flopping on the floor like a fish out of water. And he just seems like, I don't know, really inconsistent. Like, he does crazy wacky. I mean, sometimes he's really exciting, and he can cross up people, and he has spurts of playing really well, but he's just kind of like a wild card. And I don't know if he's like the right fit for with LeBron. I really don't think he is.
Well, let me ask you this. Obviously,
and he's eternal. Like, I don't want to say eternal enemies, but he's been beefing it with LeBron for like since day one, since he's been in Miami.
Right, exactly. If you guys don't remember, Lance Stevenson is the guy who was like blowing in LeBron's ears a few years ago and like constantly hacking him. Even last year in the playoffs, he was all hacking LeBron and
snatching the ball out of his hand.
Yeah, he did some crazy stuff.
A couple of years ago, he like rubbed his hand on LeBron's like cheek or something like that.
Yeah,
like, while he's standing. So it's just kind of some weird stuff going on, and now he's like teammates with him. I mean,
but let me ask you this: you would think, and for sure, they had to clear that with LeBron before they didn't just sign him without getting LeBron's consent.
For some weird reason, I personally don't like it as a Laker fan. But in the back of my mind, I really think LeBron asked Magic to get this guy. I don't know why. I just like how Kobe like wanted like Matt Barnes, after that whole thing. Kind of, I think LeBron wanted like, I know this guy is scrappy. This guy's the only one that has the balls to go up against me and get in my face. This is the type of guy I want to play with. I don't know. I just feel like LeBron would. That's something that he would do, and I'm pretty sure he asked Magic to do that.
Very Kobe-esque. Maybe actually when he talked to Kobe on the phone, Kobe was like, you need whoever your enemies are, go get them right now. That's what I did. So I could see that Kobe giving him that advice or something.
True.
For selfish reasons, I was so excited when we got Lance because I've been a fan of his for years, only because he just has so many. He has one of the best, nastiest highlight reels of all time. Like, this dude has so many sick crossovers and breaking ankles and sick passes, and he's always doing some crazy, wacky dances and stuff. As far as like basketball entertainment, he is like top-notch level. But of course, he's not that good a player. He is kind of like a triple-double threat-ish kind of guy. Like, he does dime, he does get rebounds. Like, he's kind of like an all-around kind of guy on the offensive end. I don't think he really plays that much defense, but yeah, I know it was very interesting. It was a very odd signing to say the least. I mean,
remember, like, was it 2 years ago? Like, this guy he was almost not being signed by any team.
Yeah, he was out of the NBA. I remember for a little bit after he was on the Hornets, like, he was out of the league until Larry Bird like called him up, like, hey, just come back to the Pacers with us. Like,
he seemed a little bit more focused in the playoffs last season because that's what I saw of him. I don't know, maybe like coming to the Lakers is going to be like a new awakening for him, and he's just going to be like, okay, this is my opportunity. Let me make the most of it. Let me focus, and I get to play with LeBron, and let me just let me just play 100%. And that's all what I'm asking for. I don't want him to do anything like crazy, like act like a Dennis Rodman type of a thing, you know. So you never know. Maybe it could be a good thing. Like, it's only time will tell.
Yeah. All right, let's move on. Then we signed not too long later, the same night, JaVale McGee to a $2.4 million contract, 1 year.
The Shaqtin' a Fool MVP.
What did you think about this signing?
I mean, first of all, when we signed him, I was just really wondering, wait, what's going on with Brook Lopez? Like, are we trying to get this guy back or what? I'm just surprised. Like, you know, he's a good defender. I mean, he can block shots, which is, I think, if that's all what you need out of your center, someone who can play defense. But I mean, I'm not too big on it. Like, this guy, he does make just a ridiculous amount of clumsy plays.
Stay off the weed.
I don't know. It's just it's just a whatever thing to me. I mean, I'm not too big on it, but it's an interesting sign. Like, I just what doesn't make sense is, for me, like, having Lance Stevenson and JaVale McGee, two like really extreme characters on the same team with LeBron James. It's just, I don't know. There's something weird about it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I thought this was a pretty weird signing. The first thing that came off on my mind as far as the pro, like a good thing of this, is that, okay, he just came from the Warriors, so, you know, presumably we can get some of the trade secrets from the Warriors from him. But yeah, it's a very strange signing. I mean, he can catch lobs and he is active, which is good, but pretty low basketball IQ. Wild. I mean, not just a weird guy. I mean, we've seen how many Shaqtin' a Fool moments this fool had. I mean, so yeah, I'm not too big on it either. But the other thing that I was kind of shocked by, and because these were our 4 signings on Sunday, July 1st: LeBron, KCP, Lance, and JaVale. I was just shocked that not only the fact that we signed Lance and JaVale, but how quickly we did. Like, I was like, wait, why are we...
seriously, on first day.
I was like, why are we using all this money right now on these people? Like, I was really shocked by that. So yeah.
I think it was just the fact that that money was supposed to go to Paul George, and now he's not there. So okay, let's fill up the roster then with some people. Yeah, that's the way I'd look at it. Yeah,
but I mean, we're gonna talk some more. But there's other people on the market. There was Capella, Tyreek Evans, Julius Randle, like DeMarcus Cousins. Like, it was kind of, that's why I was like, wait, why? Yeah. So, anyways, right. Let's move on. The next thing that happened was there was conflicting reports on Sunday. Actually, the very moment pretty much LeBron signed with the Lakers, I got notifications on my phone that all of a sudden I was seeing Julius Randle doesn't want to come back to the Lakers. Randle wants out. I was like, damn. So like you don't want to play with
LeBron?
Yeah. But then it was weird because the next day there was reports that, Randle's excited to play with LeBron. You know, maybe I got my notifications late on the Randle thing about him. Maybe that was before LeBron signed. But, you know, you can't trust every report anyways. And so, you know, I mean, it's got to be a Wojbomb, Wojnarowski, or, you know, Mark Stein, or some legit people. Even, actually, it was funny because David Aldridge was the one who reported Randle wanted out. And I was surprised that ended up not being true, because David Aldridge, I love David Aldridge, and he was like, I feel like he's super reputable. Anyways, yeah, so the next day, all of a sudden, Randle they said, he wanted in. He was excited to be with LeBron. I was like, sweet. Like, hopefully we can make something happen. Just a few hours later, it was announced that the Lakers renounced Julius Randle, making him a unrestricted free agent, allowing him to go sign anywhere he wanted. And he did. He signed a 2-year, $18 million contract with the New Orleans Pelicans. What are your thoughts on the Lakers? I don't know which side walked out on who. We don't know. But what do you think about Randle? With Randle, he's gone.
I don't know. I really thought before this whole thing happened, I was like, okay, if Paul George isn't coming, like, we're definitely gonna keep Randle. just because Randall was just so beasting last year towards the end of the season. Like, he was just so efficient, so good. And I really thought he was going to be like a piece for us. And I was like, okay, Paul George is not coming. Randall's definitely staying. And I don't know what happened. I don't even know what the whole contract situation was with Randall. I think it was like if another team offers him like a bigger contract than the Lakers. I think the Lakers had an option to match it. I'm not sure. Do you know anything?
Yeah. So I mean, before they renounced him, he was a restricted. We gave him that qualifying offer for $5.5 million. That meant that the moment any team could now come and make an offer on Randall, and then the Lakers would have had a chance to match that offer and keep him. After their meeting, though, when it was announced that Randall was renounced, that means he wasn't restricted anymore. He was unrestricted, and so he could go anywhere he wanted. Like the Lakers couldn't match or something. So that's kind of how that happened.
Yeah, I mean, it was just surprising. I mean, I'm kind of upset that we lost him. I really liked Randall, and I thought he would have played. He would have been a great fit with our young guys and LeBron. I really did think so.
Yeah, what he did in 2018 this year, I was just blown away by how good he was. Starting from as soon as I remember Lonzo got injured and like Clarkson and Randall like were going off like at the end of January or something or beginning of February, and for the rest of the season he was just a 2010 guy. We were winning. Not only was he getting 2010, but we were winning a lot of games, which is a great sign. Yeah, I wasn't that big on Randall his first 3 years, like, and us, I talked so much smack about him this first 3 years, but he really impressed me that last year. Was sad to see him go because I think he's the perfect kind of guy, big man to have if you're going to match up against the Warriors or the Rockets. Can switch out onto guards. And
what's surprising is what you were telling me actually was, dude, this guy got signed for cheap. Like, in my opinion, like, we both thought, like, I thought he was worth at least like a good like 14-15 million a year.
Yeah, no, that was shocking. So
just
yeah,
by his play from like last season, like.
So yeah, he's only going to get paid. Well, first of all, he only signed a 2-year contract, which is interesting. I mean, and then for 18 million total, so 9 million a year. So he's not even going to get 10 million a year.
That's kind of weird. Like, wouldn't you, if you're going to be paid for that, if you're going to leave the Lakers, wouldn't you want to get paid for more?
Yeah, I mean, does that mean that? I mean, that must mean that there weren't any great offers or something for him. Like the market wasn't that high for him. I would think. I did read one thing that apparently Anthony Davis, I guess, was kind of like pushing for them to get him. But still, I mean, if you're Randall, if you would think you're trying to get your money. I mean, yeah, no, I was surprised. Only $9 million a season. Yeah, no, hey, good luck, Randall. I think you and Anthony Davis, it's gonna be a cool little 4-5 combination, and toodaloo. Once Randall signed, well, actually, basically the next thing that happened after we renounced Randall, not even 3 hours later or something, we signed Rajon Rondo. For a 1 year, $9 million contract. So
didn't this guy say he would never ever be a Laker?
Yeah, he did. He did say that. He's an arch rival of ours.
If you don't know, like, this guy was the the point guard for the Boston Celtics in 2009, 2010. That 2019, which actually beat the Lakers in 6 games, I believe, and then he was still their point guard the next year when we beat them. And dude, I hated this guy. Like, I mean, when he was on Boston, but dude, he played amazing in last season's playoff Rondo, as everyone was calling him. Like, this guy had a game, I think he had like 20 assists. Another game he had like 16 or assists or something like that. And he was feeding a boogie-less Pelicans. He was feeding Anthony Davis and Jrue Holiday. Like, he was definitely their catalyst for that team.
Yeah, this is the third strange signing. We signed Lance, we signed JaVale, now we signed Rondo. It's like, oddly, we're signing all these either Laker enemies or LeBron enemies. I mean, even Rondo and LeBron had a lot of beef back all their playoff battles when it was Cleveland and Celtics.
But what's crazy is none of those 3 guys, between Rondo, Lance, and obviously JaVale McGee, not one of them is a true shooter. Rondo can't shoot for his life.
Yeah.
And Lance Stevenson is not known
Can't shoot for his life.
He's not a knockdown 3-point shooter.
No, can't shoot.
So it's kind of like we were talking about. It's kind of interesting, like what is going on over here. I really feel like this is not going to be the final squad. I feel like someone, sometime, at some point is going to get moved, / traded. I don't know who, I don't know when, but it just feel like this. It almost feels like it's Cavs 2.0, which is kind of sad. But thank God we still have Ingram, we still have Kuzma. I'm more excited about them than any of these other guys that we've signed, to be honest with you.
Yeah, no doubt. I was reading something which I didn't completely understand, but I'm trying to make sense of it, about the difference between us paying Rondo $9 million a year versus a Randall $9 million a year, because they're both getting paid the same amount next season. I guess apparently because Rondo's just on a 1-year deal, it has something to do with our ability to kind of like get rid of Deng easier, Luol Deng. I was reading something, but I don't remember fully, but there was some key reason why the Lakers opted to pay Rondo $9 million on a 1-year deal than Randall, I guess, on a similar deal for a multi-year deal at $9 million or something. So so that was interesting. Now let's quickly talk about this. I mean, reports came out that Rondo is. It's gonna be a position battle, Rondo versus Lonzo for the starting point guard gig. What do you think about that? Who do you think should start? Who would you start?
Best player wins the starting position. I mean, I think it's a good wake up call for Lonzo Ball, really, because now, I mean, before Rondo was here, it was kind of like, okay, Lonzo by default is gonna be the starting one, because Lakers waived Tyler Ennis. I mean, you're not gonna want. What's his name, dude? I forgot his name.
Caruso,
the great Caruso. From the G League, starting at 1. And then also Lonzo is, like, we all know he's injury prone. Like, he's been getting hurt. Lakers have been like kind of babying him. He gets a little hurt and he's out for like be reevaluated in 1 or 2 weeks. I mean, he missed 30 games last season. So we definitely need a solid backup. Well, not even a backup now. Now we have a solid starter for sure, proven point guard. I just really think whoever plays the best is going to get that starting position. I think it's going to wait. Lonzo's going to have to wake up and be like, okay, I got to earn the starting spot, and I really have to play, which is kind of a good thing.
First of all, I'll just say that I hope and I want Lonzo to start between the two. Second, I'll say I think this is a genius, great move for the prospects of Lonzo, like specifically Lonzo. This is like you said, this is exactly what he needs, because Rondo is nasty. Like, he's like, remember what he did to Isaiah in that game last year? Like, just on his face, like Rondo, and how he's beefing with Draymond Green. Like, Rajon Rondo don't give a damn. And like,
he'll tell anybody to his face.
Yeah, no, he's not gonna let Lonzo off easy. And this is actually it's perfect because it's sinker. I mean, if the Lakers are planning to keep Lonzo, long term, it's great. But B, it's good. It's great for the Lakers to see if Lonzo is worth keeping long term, because it's sink or swim time for Lonzo. I mean, almost like I'm thinking about it right now. It reminds me of the Lakers, the first game last season against the Clippers, when Patrick Beverley absolutely ate up Lonzo Ball. Like, Lonzo, you got to be ready, bro. I mean, if you do that passive being, all passive and like non-aggressive against Rondo in practices, dude, you know what? If I'm Magic Johnson, I see that, I'm like, dude, I'm trading you, dude. Like, you need to.
Apparently, Lonzo's been watching video with Magic at least once a week for like an hour. So I don't know. Maybe he's getting some hands-on coaching from Magic.
I hope so.
Yeah, he better be.
But I'm just saying, like, this is a wake-up call. The Lakers management is sending Lonzo a message. There's a message being sent here. Like, because no team ever drafts. It's like, no team drafts a player that high, number 2 pick, and then the next season goes out and gets a starter-worthy player of that position. Like, if anything, teams clear out those positions for that player to keep growing. But here, it's weird. You know what I mean? It's not like when you sign a Durant or LeBron, the next season you go sign a great small forward. Like, no, you get rid of your small forwards. The Lakers here, very unconventional.
I think really Lonzo just asked for that. it's really just him not being prepared last season.
Yeah.
Which is just kind of set him up for this season. Like, so, hey, at the end of the day, it's best for Laker Nation. Magic's doing what's best for the team. And I have my trust in Magic. And, I really want Lonzo to succeed. And I know Lonzo could be an amazing player. And I think this is going to help him. I really do. I think it's better. It's a better sign for him. I think it's going to push him to be better by signing Rondo rather than if we didn't have Rondo. I think it wouldn't push Lonzo to be the best that he can be.
Yeah. All right, let's move on.
Stay in your lane.
When Randall signed with the Pelicans, my immediate thought was,
all right, 3 big men now?
No, my thought was are we gonna go get Cousins right now? Like that means he's available. In the next few hours, it was reported that DeMarcus Cousins signed a 1-year contract with the Golden State Warriors for $5.3 million. This
guy's a snake.
Pennies.
Snake.
And it's such an interesting position because it's really just posturing. I mean, whether the Lakers have signed him or the Warriors signed him, they're really just posturing with one another. I understand why the Lakers didn't sign him. I still feel, but as far as, just looking into next season, it makes complete sense why we didn't go after him, because it was reported today that the Lakers could have got him for that same amount, but we didn't. We decided not to. We passed on him. The only thing I don't like about it is that potentially, presumably wherever he ended up, which now is Golden State, that team has a leg up to re-sign him. If he, whatever he proves his worth or whatever he ends up being worth after next season. So what I don't like in this is that the Warriors, presumably, and I could be wrong, have a leg up on to re-sign Cousins, long term after next year, because he's there already. He's gonna build chemistry and rapport with those guys. In general, it's a great situation to be on the Warriors. Why would you want to leave? That's the only reason I kind of wish the Lakers had gotten him, just because then that could have been us potentially. But it's also a risk because the Achilles, maybe he'll never be the same player. We don't know it. We don't know, and that's why I think actually it is smart now I think about it to not, because it's just risky, and the guy's not gonna be back till January or something. Probably February. Now he's on the Warriors. He doesn't have to even rush back. But this makes the Warriors just that much more formidable. I mean, even if Boogie is not Boogie anymore, the guy can shoot threes, at the center position. That's what I don't like for the Warriors. He can just stand out there, spread the court. Now you never have, whether you're doing Iguodala or Cousins at the 5 or Draymond, it's damn, dude.
I mean, you got 5 perennial All-Stars. A 5 All-Star starting 5. I mean, that's...
What?
When was the last time that happened? The Pistons had 4, back in 2004? But even then, none of those guys were as good as the guys that are on Golden State.
Yeah, Klay Thompson's better than
and then before
Richard
that was...
Hamilton, Chauncey, and all those guys.
Yeah, I mean, before that was the one the Lakers had 4, but we were really young. I don't know the last team that had 4 All-Stars on one team. Now 5. 5 All-Stars on one team. And I texted you this. I don't know what's a bigger snake move or, I don't want to use any profanity in the middle of the podcast, but dude, it's a bitch-made move.
What?
I'm serious. I really thought the girliest, pussiest move on earth was when Kevin Durant joined the team that's 73-9, which he was up 3-1 against in the playoffs and ended up losing. And Kevin Durant joins that team with the reigning MVP. Now you have 2 reigning MVPs. Now, what's more of a sellout is now this guy, Boogie Cousins, joined this team with 2 reigning MVPs that just won 3 of the last 4 championships, and this guy signs for dirt cheap. Okay, I understand that's all about winning, but bro, have some self-dignity. Where's you just want to jump up on? That's really called jumping on the bandwagon. He could literally just sit out the whole season with his Achilles injury and still win a ring. It doesn't make any sense to me, but hey, it is what it is. I don't know. This is kind of bad. It's bad to be a bad wisher on a team, but I really feel like Boogie's sometimes poison. I hope he causes some turmoil within the team and causes some, I don't know, him and Draymond. I hope they don't see eye to eye, and I hope, I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if he ends up getting traded or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I think Durant's move was a lot worse, to be honest. But for Boogie, what I didn't like was that, I don't know who reported it, but these reports that the Warriors were the only team that gave him an offer. But then the next day it came out that, the Lakers, I guess the Lakers didn't want it, but that the Pelicans offered him a 2-year, $40 million contract. I don't know if that was after or before Randall
your own
came
teammate wore your jersey in the All-Star game. Think about it. You get injured and your own teammate, the best player on the team, wears your jersey in the All-Star game, and then you snake him out. You snake him out, really. That's I don't know, man. That's it's kind of ridiculous.
The most interesting thing, what's interesting about the situation is just that even when the season starts, we're not going to know, because like I said, he will not play in 2018. At the very earliest, he'll play in 2019. So we won't even see this Warriors team for a long time, and so they'll have to bring him in. Obviously, he's going to be fighting for a contract, so yeah, you would think he's going to want to show his stuff, but he also has to play within the Warriors system. So yeah, that'd be great if somehow there's some conflict or something. But the Warriors have a great culture and everything. I'm sure they're going to handle it fine, to be honest. But all right, let's move on. Couple quick things. It was reported that Dwight Howard wanted to come to the Lakers and join LeBron. Thank God he did not. He signed with the Wizards. Dwight, don't ever come back. Don't ever think about it. Just real quick on Dwight Howard. This guy, dude, he very well could be out of the league very soon, because he gets tossed around more than whatever you want to say. Because he was on the Hawks for 1 year. It was reported that when he left, the players were begging to get him out of there. The same thing happened the next year on the Charlotte Bobcats. He was only there for a year. Apparently, they couldn't stand him. They just wanted to get rid of him. He gets traded for pennies. He gets traded for Timothy Mozgov to the Brooklyn Nets, the crappy Brooklyn Nets. And the Brooklyn Nets buy him out because they don't want him on the team. And he's just floating around right now. And then he signed with the Washington Wizards, which is a dysfunctional team. And they have no idea what they're doing, and I'm sure
he's a new journeyman, dude. He's the NBA journeyman.
Yeah,
no one wants to play with him.
So good luck, Dwight. And then today it was announced that we renounced Isaiah Thomas, making him a unrestricted free agent. Not any surprise. I said this when we got him. This dude will not be on the Lakers beyond last year. LeBron played all those fools. Really, it was actually just a chess move by Magic and LeBron trading Nance Clarkson's long-term contract for Isaiah's expiring deal. And
there's no way on earth. The moment LeBron came, there's no way on earth Isaiah Thomas is gonna be on the team. No way.
LeBron had him traded, or LeBron somehow caused him to get moved 3 times now or something.
Isaiah probably hates LeBron more than anything. I'm sure.
But yeah, it was reported. I don't know if it happened yet, but it seems very likely he's going to end up on the Orlando Magic. Earlier, that's what a team that will not be in the playoffs next year. That's who. So yeah, good luck, Isaiah Thomas. Secure the bag or whatever. All right, last bit of things we just want to talk about. A couple Laker roster things. First of all, there was a report that came out that LeBron told the Lakers not to overspend for Kawhi. What do you think about that?
I don't know. I really think at the end of the day, LeBron, just the fact that he came over here without knowing that Paul George isn't coming, knowing that Kawhi Leonard is here, I think that shows that he's really excited to play with this existing team. I think he likes Kuzma. I'm sure he likes Ingram. We know he likes Alonzo. He showed it last year in the summer league when he went to the Lakers game, and just by his facial reactions, he liked Lonzo's game. So I don't know. I think he's excited to play with these young guys, and I feel like he knows he doesn't have to run. He doesn't have to carry all the energy, all the expend so much energy. He's got these young guys to really do it. And I feel like he can really just, I don't want to say be a spot-up shooter, but he can really conserve himself throughout the season because he's got a younger squad around him.
This is how I see it. It could either be true or it could be complete smokescreen. Honestly, I would not be surprised if we still trade for Kawhi before the season starts or something. Like I just would not be surprised. And I think I could totally see, because on the last podcast, I was going in on why I thought Lonzo would be traded when LeBron came. And even it was reported, there was some quote that like 2 or 3 days ago that like LeBron was excited to play with Lonzo. Like, to me, that just screams smokescreen. That just screams like I'm trying to save face. Like, I don't want it to appear when we do trade him that like I was the reason. Like, I'm gonna say this now so that it's not on me if we trade him later. Like, that's how I could see that totally being the case. Again, this is LeBron James. This is such a calculating man. He's such a businessman. He's a mogul. And he's now teamed up with a bigger mogul in Magic Johnson, or a more seasoned mogul, I should say, in Magic Johnson. And these guys are playing chess. Like, they're playing chess on these people. So whatever they say, you gotta take with I feel you gotta take with a grain of salt. Like, even LeBron saying, "Oh, now that it gets reported, oh, we don't overspend for Kawhi," it's kind of like even saying that it might scare the Spurs. Like, oh damn, so are we really just gonna lose Kawhi for nothing next year? Like, damn, maybe we should lower our, what we're expecting from the Lakers. I don't know. I'm kind of spitballing, but we just don't know the levels and the layers to the game that's being played by these guys. I don't think it's as simple as what the words they're speaking is. Just a thought. Like, I don't know if that's true. I'm just kind of spitballing. And then it was reported today that the Lakers are looking to trade for Damian Lillard, a John Wall, Bradley Beal, DeMar DeRozan, Kevin Love, and others, was the report. I texted you about Lillard, right, a few days ago? Yeah. That like he tweeted something like,
peace time, like, and a peace sign.
Yeah, and I was like, damn, like that's who we should be going after. Like, I was like, once we lost Paul George, I was like, okay, we gotta go get someone else. Since it seems like we're not gonna get Kawhi that quickly, we gotta go get someone else to land LeBron. Luckily, LeBron came anyways, but damn, dude. Of those names, like, I mean, the fact that we have KCP, kind of like Bradley Beal, it isn't really, they're pretty similar, but damn, Damian Lillard, man, would be awesome.
That would be amazing. Like, I love Damian Lillard.
Like LeBron, like that's the exact type of star LeBron would just up his game to another level.
Didn't he even say it like sometime in the middle of last season at a random game, like, hey, give me Damian Lillard and I'll show you how good he can be.
Yeah, and I remember also Lillard was quoted one time. They asked him, like, he was asked, like, what team would you want to be on if not the Blazers? And he said the Lakers or some other team.
Yeah, I remember that. The Lakers or like Utah.
I wonder why Utah. It's weird to me.
I don't know, but I remember him saying the Lakers.
Yeah, sure. Dude. Like, so there's some look. Let's talk about this before we get into the general theme of this last part. Let's just assess our roster. I mean, we talked about us getting Rondo, Lance, JaVale, we got Lonzo. I mean, we have a LeBron James-led team that has no shooters on it. Our only shooters are Kuzma and KCP. Like, this roster, it does not make sense currently. Like, I just cannot believe...
You can't win with it.
It's not even that you can't win. I just can't believe that this will be our roster come starting night of the season. I just can't see that happening. Like, it's just too weird and dysfunctional and ugly a roster right now. Sad to say, Laker fans, but I mean, Rondo can't shoot. Lonzo presumably can't shoot. He didn't shoot last year. Brandon Ingram just refuses to shoot. Lance Stevenson can't shoot. I don't know. Yeah, and so it's such a weird, clunky roster that I'm just starting to wonder what is going to happen before the season starts. Like, I just feel like something has to happen. Like was getting Rondo a sign that maybe Lonzo's going to be gone? Or is Rondo going to get traded because of his 1 year expiring contract to a team that is a point guard? I don't know. What do you think? Do you think like this will be our roster come opening night? Like, do you think anyone could get traded? Do you think Kawhi could come? Do you think any of these guys I named could come? Like, what do you think
I just have this weird feeling like all these guys on these 1-year deals, like,
What do you think?
and none of them are like on any crazy contracts. I mean, I just feel like these pieces, they can be moved around before February, before the end of the trade deadline. I would not be surprised if like a Lance Stevenson or JaVale McGee or even a Rondo or Alonzo, some of these guys are moved out. I really don't. I wouldn't be surprised if that happens. I mean, if this is like the squad that they're going to go with, I mean, I think they have to bank on like, okay, we have to be the most scrappiest defensive team. Just get inside everyone's jersey, and that's the way we're going to win. Just being like really hard-nosed defensive team. That's the only way I see us winning, really. And maybe, I don't know if that's what they want to experiment for this 1 year and then wait till 2019 and be able to sign, a bunch of guys, because Stevenson, Rondo, and KCP are all on expiring 1-year contracts. So, but yeah, I really wouldn't be surprised if like this team moves, because I just don't see us winning a championship with this existing squad. And yeah, you got to have shooters around LeBron. Like, you have to have shooters around LeBron. Like you said it, like none of these guys are shooters.
Yeah, so much I want to go in on real quick right here. I'm trying to think how to organize this. Okay, let's just hypothetically, if this is our roster for next season, essentially what that means is that Magic's going all in on 2019. Like you said, Lance, Rondo, KCP, JaVale are all on expiring deals. So we're going to have a boatload of cap space in 2019 to sign someone. Now, and then, and Kawhi, suppose he wants to come then, or, wants to come now, but he'll wait till then. And the other side of that to me is I'm thinking, okay, are we really going to waste a LeBron James season with us? I mean, because it's not like LeBron's 27 years old. And this guy is, he's 33 or 34. You could argue, like, you would think the way basketball careers have gone, that maybe LeBron's first season with the Lakers is going to be it could be his best season with the Lakers. Like, he could end up, I'm sure he's going to be an amazing basketball player for the next 4 years at least. I know that. Like, I'm not saying he's ever going to like crash and become some average player. Like, he'll always be an amazing player, barring any serious injuries. But I'm just thinking, like, can you really afford, is it really wise to waste any LeBron season, especially the youngest version of LeBron we're going to have, that since he is old in terms of basketball years? Like, that's my question. And then when I think like that makes me think, I'm just going to say, I won't be surprised if before the season starts, or I guess maybe during the season, we made 2 trades, like 2 like pretty monster deals, like to bring in 2 superstars. Whether it's Kawhi and one of these guys, a Kawhi and a Lillard, or a Wall, I don't know, or I don't know, whatever. Like, that wouldn't surprise me. On the other hand, yeah, maybe like we said, maybe the Lakers, LeBron and Magic are totally fine being patient, and they're willing to wait for 2019. It came out today that Jimmy Butler wants out of Minnesota. Maybe they're gonna start pursuing that right now and be like, okay, we're gonna bring LeBron, Kawhi, and Jimmy Butler next year. Anthony Davis just bought an $8 million home outside of Los Angeles.
I'll take that.
Let's look into that. It's a very interesting time. One thing that's interesting on the Kawhi front, I'll say, is that, it was reported today that the Spurs want from the Lakers Ingram, Josh Hart, Kuzma, 2 first-round draft picks, and 2 pick swaps. But the one thing that's interesting on the Lakers side that's been reported in the last couple of days is that the only thing I've heard from the Lakers end is that Kuzma is the untradeable piece in there.
Yeah, I heard that too.
So I'm thinking, what if... Because look, can the Spurs really just sit Kawhi all year? Like, they have a duty to their fans and to the city. I mean, can you really put that product out there, like, all in the terms of pride? Like, and because I'm sure, even though the Spurs have until the trade deadline to trade Kawhi, I'm sure in their heads they're thinking, all right, guys, we're going to front like that's our deadline date, but really, we got to trade this guy before the season starts. Like, we can't go into the season with this looming over our franchise and stuff. So, I don't know. I'm just thinking. It's all just spitballing right now. I'm just thinking. I'm trying to get into the minds from all different angles. And the point, I'll just end it by saying, unless you have something to say after this, I'll end this part by saying, Laker fans, Laker Nation, I just wouldn't be surprised one way or the other. I wouldn't be surprised if we do some monster trades or one monster trade. I also wouldn't be surprised. I would be pretty surprised if this was our roster though. During the season, like this Rondo, Lance, JaVale. I just would be like, to be honest, but I don't know.
I think Magic has something up his sleeve.
Yeah, no, Magic definitely has something.
Which we just can't see, and he's game planning it with LeBron. I just don't know what. I just can't foresee it, really.
Yeah, no, you're exactly right, because Magic's been playing chess since he got here. We talked about the D'Angelo trade.
And Magic, we know Magic, dude, this guy's a genius. Like, he knows that this team on paper right now is pretty dysfunctional. Yeah. And so I'm sure he has something up his sleeve, and this guy's a genius. He'll make something happen. I don't have any doubt or any... I'm not losing any confidence in Magic, that's for sure.
Oh, yeah. No, definitely not. No, I have full faith in Magic. We've said that on the podcast this whole time. I always knew... We were confident we were going to get LeBron a year ago. Just because we had Magic and stuff. So, no, it's more just curiosity. But, no, it's going to be interesting. Like, we're just going to have to be on the lookout for it. Just have to be patient. And, don't be surprised, Laker fans. The next podcast we do is us talking about some interesting new developments that have happened on the Lakers roster. Just want to end the podcast on some few quick notes. Lakers Summer League has started. I was watching some of it today, and it's just not as exciting as it's been the last few years. Like, because the last few years we've had lottery picks, and so it's always fun to see that. What was it? 4 years ago it was Randall. The next season it was D'Angelo. The next season it was Ingram. The next season it was Lonzo. And then throw in there that Clarkson second round picks, Larry Nance. Summer League was exciting. We even went to a Summer League game last year in Vegas.
We went to Vegas.
And it was super.
We saw Lonzo play. We saw Kuzma play.
It was super exciting. But this year, like, dude, I didn't even know Summer League had started until I saw.
Crazy is we got this guy Mo Wagner. I think that's how you say it. Mo short for something. Don't even know his name, which is pretty embarrassing. But this guy ended up scoring 23 points with Josh Hart. They both had 23 apiece in a losing effort to Marvin Bagley and the Sacramento Queens.
Yeah, and we played the Heat today. I was watching some of it. We looked awful in that game, but I was watching. I think we lost like 20. But yeah, let's quickly talk about the NBA draft. We drafted Mo Wagner, whatever. He was from Michigan. He seemed like a solid guy. He seemed, actually, to me, from what I've seen, he seems like kind of like a Kuzma-ish type player, to be honest. Like, I'm not comparing him to Kuzma. I'm not saying he's like Kuzma. I'm just saying, like, he seems like a 6'8" guy, can dribble, shoot, kind of has all the skills. So, interesting Michigan guy. Magic's from Michigan. We drafted this guy, Isaac Bonga, from Germany. I saw some highlight reel of him. He actually looked like he had some moves, but I don't know. The footage it didn't look like the greatest competition he was playing against, so I couldn't really judge him. Then we drafted Sviatoslav Mikhailik. Mikhailik. I don't know how to say it. I'm sorry, but he's from Kansas, and I actually had seen him a few times at Kansas, and he was a solid guy. So that's cool. But yeah, it's the draft. I mean, for the last 4 years, the biggest excitement in the Lakers season was our young draft picks, but this year that's not the case because no lottery picks. Next, like we said, LiAngelo Ball did not get drafted. Sorry, BBB stands, but it's just that was never going to happen. And not only that, the Lakers didn't even give LiAngelo a spot on the Summer League team, and neither has any NBA team. So, look, I'm not hating on LiAngelo. I never hate on him or anything, but I just keep it real. Like, I just don't understand why people were just all like, "Oh, LiAngelo's so good." Like, based on what? Like, you haven't seen him play, and you're telling me this guy's amazing. Like, dude, just come on. Like, just
bro, bottom line, wasn't playing any defense.
Bottom line is this: look, when Lonzo was a senior, when Lonzo was in high school, he was top 10 in his draft class. When LaMelo was in high school, he was top 10 in his draft class. When LiAngelo was in high school, he wasn't even top 100 in his draft class. Like, those are facts. I have some interesting things on the JBA front real quick. I was shocked when I read this. You're gonna laugh, dude. You're gonna laugh when I read this. So in the JBA league, let me update you real quick. According to USA Today, LaMelo Ball has gone 0 for 16 from the three-point line in his last 2 JBA games, and overall he's 3 for 32, shooting 9% from the three-point line so far in the JBA.
Are you serious?
Yes. I watched some of the first or second game. I swear, I only saw like 5 minutes of it. This guy was awful. I'm sorry, like he was just bad. Like
So I
just
just
jacking up crazy shots.
Threes, yeah.
I was just like, man, I'm not hating because I think LaMelo's got game, but when I finally got to see like him play a game and watch a game progress, and I was just, man, like this guy looks like. I mean, and it was funny because at the end of the game he had like 40 points, 11 rebounds, 8 assists. They said, but man, that league is a joke. Just honest to God's truth. Like, I'm not saying LaMelo can't make it to the pros or anything, but I'm just saying like. It was a big reality check when I actually saw him play in a game and not just highlights.
Oh, those are horrible numbers. Those are really bad.
3 for 32?
That's like what, 10%?
It's like
less
the
than
Rockets
10%?
in Game 7.
Wow.
A few tidbits on LeBron. Cleveland Cavalier ticket prices have dropped 60% since he left. Lakers season tickets jumped $2,300 since LeBron came. The cheapest ticket for opening night Lakers this year is $545.
Ouch.
I remember we went to Laker finals games back in 2010 and 2009 for $300.
$300.
So now a regular season game for the Lakers is almost double than what we paid to watch Kobe in the finals 8 years ago. Crazy.
That is nuts.
Last bit of this before we end the podcast. Just Thomas Bryant was waived by the Lakers, and he's got signed by the Washington Wizards. I feel like he never got a chance. Whatever. I don't know. We signed Zubac, I guess. I don't even know what the contract's like. But yeah, that wraps up this podcast. If you're joining for the first time or just listening, thank you for joining. Follow us on Instagram at GTLA Lakers 818. If you are already following, drop me a message. I always respond to people. Let me know if you like my stories and the crazy things I say. Yeah, subscribe to us. YouTube, iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play. Until the next podcast, take care.
Peace out, Laker fans.
Oh, and shout out to the artist that made this beat. The artist name is Fleslet.